Well, Mark Hunter says goodbye, and we're joined now by Tim Delor as we're looking here at the start of the Ladies Plate Challenge Cup with Berliner Ruderclub against U.T.S Haberfield and Sydney from Australia. Away cleanly, the explosive power of the eights, a real contrast to the singles we saw previously. All noise, all power, all explosion, and here they go.
Yeah, good afternoon. The Germans on the Berkshire station. We've got the Australians on the Buck station. And just having a little look at the Buck station, the Australians had a little bit of a wobble towards Temple there, but they've rectified that pretty quickly. I can report from stewards, the stewards enclosure where I was a few moments ago, it is still ferociously hot. And the tarmac melting, everybody enjoying the drinks and trying to find some shade. But on the water, there's a little bit of a breeze, and as this race settles down, we're looking at the Germans start to take some control.
Yeah, it looks like the Germans have been warned. We're now joining the race towards the middle of the course. The Germans continuously warned by the umpire there. You can't move across any longer at all at Henley, but they're intruding on the water here of the Australian crews. There we go. He's got the megaphone out now and is warning very loudly.
Well, there's no doubt about it. The Germans are rowing right down the middle of the course and indeed getting further across, and this is problems for the Germans now.
Yeah, so the rule here for our viewers who are not aware is you need to stay on your side of the dividing line, and the Germans clearly not. Actually, the Australians not being very... but they're allowing themselves to be pushed around, actually.
Michael de Soulevy is the cox for the Berliner Ruderclub. He's not going to have another warning. He's had enough, the umpire, and if they don't get back onto their side of the river, they're in trouble.
Yeah, that flag is out, and it would be very unwise for Michael de Soulevy in the German cox's seat not to move over. This is Boris Rankov. He's been an umpire who has been involved in some controversy previously. He puts his flag down. I'm wondering if he's looking for the red flag, but there he is. He's going to warn again, I think.
Yeah, Berliner.
You know, and this is what's happening here, Tim, is this is really unsettling for the athletes. The Germans do not want to see the umpire getting more and more angry, and they'll be concerned about what their cox is doing. Meanwhile, I think the Australians will be trying to sneak through as the Germans are distracted, and the Australians are doing a very credible job here of hanging on hard to the Germans.
They certainly are. It's a very level contest, and the Germans look like they've got their steering issues sorted out and are now back on their side of the river. Boris Rankov, as you mentioned, the umpire, it was a very controversial final last year that he was involved in, probably the most controversial final in recent years.
I don't want to say he attracts it, but I think it was just he has a particular clear view when he wants to warn crews, as you saw there. If I'd been sitting in the stroke seat of the German crew, as is Björn Bürkner, I would be shouting at the cox, because you do not want to risk disqualification. You come here to race and race cleanly, and we can see, look, the Australians continue to attack. This is a really very close race. I think the Australians have made a bit of distance here, Tim.
They have, yes. They've narrowed the gap, haven't they? Still at the bottom of your picture there, the Germans leading, but they're getting another warning, and the umpire is again unimpressed with the route that Michael de Soulevy is choosing to take. The cox for the German boat is once again in hot water.
Well, this is very close. It could go all the way. There's some real experience in the stern of this German boat. We've got Björn Bürkner, who has been in the German men's team, in the men's 4- in the men's cox pair, and behind him Anton Braun was a Rio competitor for Germany in the men's 4, and so they've got some experience there, and both of those men should be telling their cox not to get into any further trouble. It's not doing them any good here, and I think the Australians continue to take advantage as George Finlayson in the stroke seat of the Australian crew looks at cox Anna O'Hanlon, and she will be urging them on and urging them on.
And still they pursue a line precariously close to the Australians. If you're U.T.S Haberfield and Sydney Rowing Club in Australia, you're thinking, well, what's gone on in this race? They're still half a length down at least, and the Germans will be first over the line, but I wonder if we've heard the last of this race.
Well, I think, you know, the Australians probably allowed themselves to be moved over a bit too far to the side. If they'd held their station a bit more, they may have actually drawn the umpire into a more aggressive manoeuvre. They've both crossed the line here. Looks like the Germans have won by about half a length. But the hand in the stroke seat, unsurprisingly, of the Australian crew goes up.